This is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. Um, just having a look at obviously the ASX 200, and you can see it's basically trading sort of pretty sideways. In fact, although the market was down today, I think that's quite bullish. It came down and it bounced off that sort of shorter-term trend line, and for me that looks absolutely fine. And hopefully it'll go up tomorrow and test that 5,600 level. Let's hope. Meanwhile, the actual trending shares are generally speaking doing okay. Car, oh, what a trend. I'm just exhausted, totally exhausted watching this one. I don't know who's buying this stock, but there's some really wild people buying and selling cars. So, but it looks great. So again, it's up. Yesterday it was down 14%, and then ended the day I think up 1%. Now it's up another 3.5, nearly 4%, and looking really good. And if you look at actually car now, hit record highs today, and you look at car, you've got a breakout now. Should be a lot of people trending that, so hopefully if the Dow's fairly respectful tonight, I think there's no reason why car can't have another move up tomorrow. Let's hope so. It's certainly looking like it could. The other trends, I'll get onto the banks in a second. FPH, absolutely stunning, looks fine. Focus, so down a bit, but the trend hasn't broken. It looks absolutely excellent. GHC, just got no issues there. BAB looks very, very good. GMG, absolutely perfect, up a little bit today, just sort of holding that trend line. One that wasn't doing well today, CBA, we just put on yesterday. Still holding the faith. I'd just like to say with the banks, we've sort of really bought CBA on a short-term trend on a daily chart, and I think those numbers they came out were pretty respectful today. But what I would say, I think that, and it hasn't quite happened, but there's a general trend and a general feeling that you get around town. I mean, these interest rates are just going down and down and down, and they could go down a little bit more. And you've got these fantastic these great pillars of Australian banking, and I've never been a fan of them. Everyone knows Equity Story. We've never really gone on about the banks, but in these unprecedented times of low interest rates, when you've got some really great companies giving sort of fully franked dividends around 8, 9, 10%, and people around the world are really struggling to get any type of sort of interest off their money. I think from a common sense point of view, these banks are obviously pretty cheap. And for me, they're trending okay on the short-term chart. There was a buy signal, it didn't really go for it. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Again, the same with Westpac. Obviously the banks all moves a little bit the same, but that's, for me, that's fine. It's holding a really short-term trend line, so I've got no issues with it, and hopefully it can go up and start having that move up that we think it obviously deserves. Just having a look at obviously some of the stocks of interest, the ones important, and obviously it's good to see old Megastar Millionaire. It's one we've spoken about a few times. Let's get the chart up here, and again, fantastic looking chart. I was telling you all about this at 10 cents, and was telling you all about it the other day. I think it was about 17.5, and now it's 21.5. It's looking like it's going to have a really nice little strong run, but looks very, very, very good. Moi, oh my gosh, that looks so good. I think we're up over sort of 200% now, and I think what a good company. Now I think this has got more to run. I think it's a 40-45 cent stock for the time being, and hopefully it'll run up and test those sort of higher levels. But for me, it certainly looks very, 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 very bullish. As does Little Grange Roads. Now, nearly most of our 90% of our 3-year growth stories have just been doing exceptionally well. This is one that's sort of been struggling really to get above the trend line, and I think the price action today looks very, very good, and it's really broken for the first time a nice big green candle above those sort of longer term trend lines. So this could be a breakout. This could be the turning point. They make some fantastic beers. I mean, this is a stock that's had some production issues. They come from as high as, what's that high? That's high as 29 cents down to as low as 4, and now they're sort of working their way back up there, 7.3, and I can really see them. I think when they start moving, GRB, I think they can really have a nice sort of run up, at least sort of test that sort of 10 cents level fairly quickly. The other one, obviously, I'd like to talk about is Sty Group. Now, Sty Group, they put out a really, let's have a look at the short-term chart. This stock is one of our 10 baggers, and we believe it offers fantastic value, and for sort of P ratios and the market cap and where it's trading. Again, what he's really good at, Tarzani, is picking these locations to put these ATM machines. I think his fallout percent, I think he gets 1 out of every 100 doesn't work, or he gets the wrong location. But at the moment, they announced today they had 11.67% increase in ATM transactions compared to last month, and that's simply because I think they're very good at picking their locations. He totally boo-booed the whole story about ATM use going down, and if you read the article, it's on the ASX that they put out today. Do read it, because I think I think this stock, they're reckoning next year they've got some sort of annual gross revenue of around 6.7 million, which is very, very impressive. We feel as long as this company keeps growing its revenue, eventually the market will have to take note of it, and the share price should react with it. Talking about growing revenue, Mobile Embrace, again, how this stock got sold down is, I think it's that people just don't understand it. Again, here's a fantastic opportunity. If you're not in it, get in it. The revenue grew 83%, not 20, not for 83. The earnings were up, before tax were up 86%. Just absolutely fantastic numbers, and they're moving. They have a sort of a billing service that is really easy to sort of upgrade their systems around the world, and sort of basically make a lot of money from. And they're just moving into Pakistan at the moment, where I think there's about over 100 million people are obviously very keen to make payments via their mobile phones, because not many Pakistanis have credit cards. So it's a really, really fantastic story, incredible growth, and growing at 83% on a P of 28 is potentially really, really, really cheap. Anyway, that's all I've got to say tonight, Equity Story. I do apologise. There have been quite a few calls today for me to get back to people. We've just had another one of those crazy days here at Equity Story, but I will try and get through to everyone tomorrow. And thank you very much for listening to Equity Story. Good night.